Did you see this match? For a special Friday night edition. How's it going? I'm going to play some DRM free music tonight. I'm going to try out some DRM free music. This shitty rock music in the background. Let's play a little bit of rock music in the background. Just for shitsies and gigsies. So, I'm just going to do a quick audio check on the chat. Just to make sure we can all... Oh, you like that? You like that? How's everybody doing tonight? Got a special show for you. I'm going to try to have Caylen and Steve actually come on. They're not the biggest wrestling fans, but I'm going to make them watch some wrestling tonight. We didn't do a trailer episode last night because I was tired. But Steve did some what's it called? Some Sea of Thieves, which is pretty cool. How's everybody doing? I got an eye on the chat, so hopefully some people come through. We got some big matches for you tonight, and in lieu of doing some news this week, there isn't a whole bunch of news. I'm going to run down the Forbidden Door card. AEW X Japan Forbidden Door happened this weekend on Sunday night. I watched it in all its glory and all of its splendor, and there were a couple of little things I wanted to talk about. So, let's see here. I want to do this in order. So I'm going to look up the Forbidden Door Wikipedia. I thought I had this already. But apparently I don't. So I'm just going to pull up the Wikipedia because they usually put... That's a movie about women doing horrifying things. Let's find here. The people are... What's up, Big Rugged? How you doing, buddy? Gonna watch some wrestling with me tonight, dude? I'm just gonna run down the Forbidden Door pay-per-view and talk about the matches on the card. Alright, so I'm not going to talk about the buy-in, because the buy-in was basically just some lower mid-card guys. I actually, in all honesty, didn't watch the opening match because I'm not a huge fan of Yoshihashi, and I definitely don't like QT Marshall, even though they're great hands, they're great workers, but they're frustratingly jobberish in my opinion. I shouldn't use the J word. In fact, I almost had a podcast with a friend. He'll be on the show eventually, but we were going to call it the J word, and we were going to talk about journeyman wrestlers like the Brooklyn Brawler. We haven't gotten around to it yet because of the pandemic, but we're going to do that one day. But then you get to the main card, and the opening match was Minoru Suzuki and the JAS, or the Jericho Appreciation Society members, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, against Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta. And Jericho Appreciation Society and Minoru Suzuki won that match. And it was a great match. It was good. It wasn't really memorable so much, but the thing I do remember the most about that is how over Wheeler Yuta is now when he came out. So everybody in this match is individually over in their own way. You have Chris Jericho. Everybody sings Judas as he comes out. Sammy Guevara is like he's kind of the low man on the totem pole here because like people hate him right now because his character work as a heel is almost like too good, but it's borderlining go away heat. And then Suzuki, of course, he comes out to Kaze ni Nare, which is an amazing song to sing along. And the pop, when they sang the first time that it says Kaze ni Nare, the audience like sang it all together at the same time at the top of their lungs, and it was a euphoric moment. And then you have Shota Umino, who's like Shooter Umino, who's John Moxley's kind of young boy kind of character in New Japan. And, of course, Eddie Kingston, who doesn't like Eddie Kingston. Other wrestlers don't like Eddie Kingston in kayfabe, but Eddie Kingston's always great. And the heels got one over on the faces on that one, but it is what it is. Because the next match was actually a winner-take-all fatal three-way dance, if you will, for the IWGP, which is the New Japan Tag Titles, and the ROH World Tag Team Championship. And FTR pulled it out. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood are fucking amazing. They've been doing so well lately. They're so... like... They were turbo heels in WWE, and then they were turbo heels when they came to AEW. But nowadays, they have sort of taken on this new... I don't want to say tweener, but like pretty hard face, and they did a really good job. They're doing a really good job, I should say, is having them do the belt collector gimmick. And if you don't know what the belt collector gimmick is, it's essentially you have a wrestler or a tag team. Young Bucks have done it in the past. Kenny Omega did it super recently. Traditionally, wrestlers like Jushin Liger and Ultimo Dragoon did it back in the 90s. But basically, you have a wrestler who goes to a bunch of different companies and just wins all the titles, and then comes out to the ring with draped in belts. And FTR are the latest in a short line, quite frankly, of wrestlers to hold multiple titles for multiple companies. It isn't done very often. It's a forbidden door kind of thing to do. And this match altogether was crazy. It was good. United Empire consists of Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. Now, I'm not too familiar with Great O'Khan, but Jeff Cobb is amazing. He's this like refrigerator jacked dude who just like will throw you, but he's also super nimble, so he can do flips and top rope maneuvers. And then Roppongi Vice, which is Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. They're a classic New Japan heel tag team. Getting some face shine right now because they're kind of doing a reunion tour. Yeah, not much else to say about that except for, there was a big kind of moment at the beginning where Dax Harwood pulled his shoulder out. It turns out it's a separated shoulder. Hopefully he won't be out for too long, especially where they're doing this storyline right now. But essentially what happened is they like took him out, and that he had a big moment where he like came back from the back, which is crazy, and he was all wrapped up, you know. And I actually watched the media scrum afterwards, and that was great because you get to see the wrestlers sort of in character and out of character at the same time. And these guys just love wrestling more than I've ever seen a wrestler love wrestling. Not since like Bret Hart, you know, not since like people like Bryan Danielson, who just do it to do it. It's their life in the ring and out of the ring. It's their career, their professional career. So it was good. It was good on them, and it's cool to see them walking around with the AAA tag titles, the ROH Tag Team Championship, and the now IWGP Tag Team Championship, which means they're going to get to go to Japan and wrestle some matches in Japan. And then the fatal four-way match for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship. It's a new belt. I think it's going to be sort of the workhorse title. AEW does have the TBS title, or the TNT title, which acted as the de facto like secondary belt now for quite some time. And I feel like AEW has like the main belt, and then all the secondary belts are equal. It doesn't feel like in the WWE how you have like the top belt, you have the Intercontinental title or the US title, which is like the mid-card title for each brand, and then like a third tier lower card title that they don't really do anymore. But for a long time, when there was only one brand, you had like tiers. So you would have like the heavyweight, main eventer, world title, or the Intercontinental title for sort of the upper mid-card talent or the workhorses, and then you'd have the United States title or something like that, or the back in the day it was the European title. They've had the Cruiserweight title was kind of that for a while recently. And this feels like it's going to be a secondary title. Because I feel like they almost need with Dark and Dark Elevation being like relatively popular on YouTube, it'd be interesting to throw a title in there. If the TNT title was maybe defended there, or even this title, even if the Mid-Atlantic Championship was defended there, that would be cool. So it was Pac versus Clark Connors. I'll get to him in a second. Versus Miro, formerly Rusev, and Malachi Black, formerly Tommy End or Aleister Black in WWE. I'm only going to use their old names in the beginning, but going forward, I'll just use their current names because it's easier that way, and I can't go around calling CM Punk Phil Brooks or whatever. Anyway, this match was crazy, as a fatal four-way with these contenders obviously will be. The notable thing here is that it was 4 people from 4 different places on the planet, like 4 different countries, and they want this title to sort of be defended in other companies all over the world and be held by people from different countries. At least that was the gimmick of the tournament. Everybody, they had a little flag by their name of where they were from, and Pac is from England, I believe, the UK. Miro is Bulgarian. Malachi Black is from I think either Finland or where Amsterdam. Where's Amsterdam from? Help me out. Anyway, the Netherlands. Thank you, brain. And Clark Connors is the only guy in this match from the United States. He's got sort of a, like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, like his finishing move is like he's kind of like a hunter, kind of like a crocodile hunter. He dressed kind of like Crocodile Dundee, but he's from the United States. I think he's from Florida. His finisher's called something like the Trophy Kill, and he's American, but he wrestles in Japan. He's a New Japan guy who came through the New Japan LA dojo, I believe. But it's funny because this dude who's dressed Australian, wrestling the Japanese style and is American. It's really interesting to see, and he put on a good show. And I know a lot of wrestlers. Like, I know every wrestler eventually, and this guy is now on my radar because I've probably seen him wrestle. I've probably seen him wrestle live at ROH when they had the New Japan Dojo guys come through there. But he was in his full gimmick, his full gear, if you will. And yeah. Alrighty. So then we had the Dudes with Attitudes versus the Bullet Club. I believe this match it was supposed to be a 4-on-4, and somebody got injured. This whole show was marred with unfortunate curses. I'll just to reiterate, Bryan Danielson couldn't wrestle. That's why I'll talk about that in a minute. CM Punk injured himself at the last pay-per-view, so he's out for a while. And then a bunch of other things happened on New Japan's side where 2 of their guys were out. And what's the guy's name? I can't remember. When I'm trying to think, when I'm trying to sit here and think of it, I cannot frigging remember the dude's name. Let me see if I can find a bit of the history here. I think it just really tells. Oh, sorry. Himuro Takahashi was injured. Yeah. So that was a bummer because I wanted to see him. He's a good wrestler. He actually had a very close neck injury a couple years back, so he's only been back for a minute. So that was good shit. It would have been better shit if he was there. Anyway, the Dudes with Attitudes were Darby Allin, Shingo Takagi, Takagi, thank you. And Sting, yeah, that's Sting. Sting's still wrestling, and not only is he still wrestling, but when the Bullet Club members El Phantasmo, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson came to the ring with Hikuleo, son of Haku, Sting did this thing where like they shone a light up in the rafters like old school Sting, and he like pointed, but it obviously wasn't him because Sting then jumped off one of the risers that the wrestlers come out of. He jumped fully off of it. So this dude's 63 years old and is taking, 10-foot jump bumps. Obviously everybody was there to catch him, but I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. That was nuts. Oh man, I am already at quarter after and I've only gotten halfway through this card. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention about this is that Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, when they're in Bullet Club, they act extra special dickish, which was great to see. I just want to get through this quickly. There's not much more. Thunder Rosa beat Tony Storm. I knew that was going to happen. It was a pretty good match, but the crowd kind of went dead for it, unfortunately. I think that should have been earlier in the card. Then Will Ospreay defended the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Orange Cassidy in basically a really well-worked, like, comedy-esque match. The story going in was that Will Ospreay doesn't take Orange Cassidy seriously, but Orange Cassidy in big matches, like, he acts like he doesn't care, but then he goes nuts. It was good. It was a good match. That's one that I wish I could watch tonight on this show, but I don't want to watch brand new AEW pay-per-view content on the show. And then we had Zack Sabre Jr. was supposed to wrestle Bryan Danielson. That didn't happen. Bryan Danielson got injured in the Arena Anarchy match at a Double or Nothing. And wouldn't you know it, I'm pausing for effect. Bryan Danielson came out on Dynamite and said, I'm gonna have somebody replace me and join the Blackpool Combat Club. And wouldn't you know it, who comes out? Fucking Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro. I think they're just going to call him Claudio. It's hard to not just call him Cesaro. He was Cesaro in WWE for literally a decade. But the thing is it's good to see him in a new company because he was the most stagnant, sort of exciting wrestler, boring character. And I know that he's got that charisma. I know he's a funny dude. And him without that, WWE control everything you're doing bullshit, I think he's going to be able to pop off and, maybe even hold a world title finally. That would be amazing. They should have put the belt on him at some point in WWE. They should have pulled the trigger. People like him undeniably. He's your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler kind of guy. And his match with Zack Sabre Jr. was good, but I think they need to have another match. I always find this kind of happened in WrestleMania with Cody and Seth Rollins, where you're so in awe of the person debuting that you don't really take in the whole match. And I feel like this was a good first time they've met. I think the last time they wrestled was in the UK in like 2009, right? So it was good. It was great. I want to see it happen again. That's what I'll say for that. And then the Fatal 4-Way match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This one was excellent up until there seemed to be some sort of either miscommunication or an injury happening at the end. And it looked like Jay White pulled an audible and ended the match. In kayfabe, it's good because it just seems like Jay White just won the match. But this match felt like it was just getting going. Like it was very, very good, and then you needed that last chapter of the match for it to be an all-time. And I think Adam Cole got dropped on his head by accident, and also he's got a shoulder injury, and I think he just was out on his feet essentially. And Jay White decided, you know what, I'm just gonna end this match right here. Not much more to say about that. Like I said, it was very, very good until the ending, which was very confusing. If that was the intention of the ending, then that was bullshit booking. If not, then, whatever. And finally, the main event, the big Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, the John Cena of New Japan, for the interim AEW World Championship because CM Punk is out. And it was a great match. It was... Jon Moxley had to kind of rise to the occasion because Hiroshi Tanahashi is like an all-time great wrestler, like up there with The Rock and Austin and John Cena and Randy Orton and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. The thing I didn't like about this match is Jon Moxley he got hit in the head and got busted open, like right here, right in the top of his crown, and he had instant crimson mask. And the thing about New Japan is they don't really do blood, and they don't really do like gore specifically. So I think a little bit of color might have been okay, but like the fact that this dude had a gusher for a Tanahashi match, I don't think that worked. Now, I'm not going to say that it wasn't an amazing match. I was on the edge of my seat for the whole thing, to be fair. However, I just think the excess blood was too much. Anyway, I don't really give ratings. I'm not Dave Meltzer, but if I was going to give that card a rating, I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Once again, don't take that for anything. I'm just a fan of wrestling. There was one more piece of news I wanted to talk about. John Cena celebrated his 20th anniversary with WWE and returned to a crazy ovation like I've never seen. I don't normally watch Raw, but I watched the clips with John Cena from last night, and it was amazing to see. Not a lot of wrestlers have that kind of longevity, and when John Cena first was the guy, Super Cena, when he was winning matches, he went on like a 2 or 3 year tear where like he couldn't lose. I hated him, and I was a boo the faces, cheer the heels kind of wrestling fan. And quite frankly, not that anymore. I'm cheer who I want to cheer and boo who I want to boo. I like who I like, and I like John Cena. I think he's a great sports entertainer. He's not the best wrestler ever, but he goes out there and puts on a great show. So, little clap for John Cena. 20 years in the biz. That said, in 20 years in WWE, I think he had a couple years before that, so more like 23 years in the biz. But that said, I'm going to stop this DCMA free music, and we're going to get to the wrestling. So I'm going to let Caylen into the room. Hopefully he's still there. Oh, he's sideways. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm going to just make sure that your audio sounds okay. So say words.
Okay.
I'm going to just make sure that your audio okay, sounds good.
Yay.
I'm going to have to do it again when we go full screen. So, what was Steve saying? Is Steve going to join?
I think you're saying he's going to try and pop in while working or something.
Okay. Well, let's just get to the first match, and if Steve wants to join, he can join. I think he's busy with work.
Oh, how do I see the match? Do I need to bring up?
No, I'm gonna share my screen with you.
Okay, cool.
Are you gonna be able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got a couple matches, do we?
Yeah, I was going to do 3 matches, but I think I'm just going to do 2 now because I talked about wrestling for 25 minutes and I expected to talk about wrestling for like 10 minutes,
Oh, Shotgun Doctor.
It's my old band, Shotgun Doctor. Shout out to Slam Haas for this free music that I used tonight. Okay. So, the first match I'm going to show is from Superkickd. The setup here is kind of that... why is it not showing on the stream?
It's lady.
Do I have to get her back up? Oh, man. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. Because I have to do this, and then
Classic.
I have to do this, and do we have wrestling? We have wrestling. So so this is Taylor Rising, who I trained with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's kind of popping off right now. She's winning titles and kind of a big deal. And
Is she cool?
She's very cool. Yes. She has a match here with another women's wrestler at Superkickd, beats her in the center of the ring, and then she's basically like, "I'll take on all comers. Anybody who wants to come out here and wrestle me, I'll wrestle you, and let's see what happens, man or woman."
Ooh, a little Andy Kaufman action.
Reverse Andy Kaufman, if you will. So, without further ado, I just skipped the first part of the match just because this is a long segment. But we'll get to the...
Is she talking smack?
Yeah, she's basically just like, whoever wants to come out, I'll wrestle you. I'll fight you. I'll fight you around the world.
Issuing
Check out
an
those
open
ass
challenge
step.
here to the Superkickd
Make
locker
sure I
room.
can hear.
Who is
Hey,
going
can
to
I
accept?
be able to go up to the ring, like if given the challenge?
Wait a second.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
if you were in the back. So this is Psycho Mike. His name is Mike, and he's a psycho.
He looks like a psycho. He should be Psycho Myko.
You know, I've always said that maybe his name should be Psycho Myko. Psycho Michael. But Psycho Mike's gimmick is basically that he's just a crazy person. People love him when he dresses like a zombie. And he's a zombie Mike. So,
My wrestling name with Ryan Freed when we did Backyard Wrestling was Captain Insano.
yeah, because of the Water Boy.
Oh, I didn't even think of it. I think he gave me the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds sexual.
It's not. It's not sexual. It's a professional wrestling contest.
Ooh, taco. Oh.
Ooh. Oh. This is a family show, Psycho Mike.
Psycho Mike with some strong words here.
So there is going to be commentary. I try not to step all over commentary, but
Can he get the Queen of the Six?
if you're
going to
talk,
stand
just
up
talk,
Taylor Rising?
kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Can he body slam
Gotcha.
her?
And I also turn it down a bit too. And you know, since I have a guest on the show, my first guest on Hey, did you see this match? Caylen actually made the...
I thought I'm your second guest. Didn't you have your friend? Didn't you and your friend talk wrestling?
No, I haven't had anybody
Oh no,
on.
you were a guest on someone else's thing, I think.
Yeah. I was on my friend Brendan's. Wasn't really about wrestling. It was more about life, more about what I'm up to.
It's Taylor Rising.
My wrestling expertise are minimal. What was that movie with what's his face Arquette and that other guy from Varsity Blues, like Rumble to Rumble or something like that?
Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ready to Rumble? When's the last time you watched?
Whenever
watched
it came out, like was it late '90s or early 2000s or something?
It was like probably 1998. If you're tuning in and you're familiar, then you know that me and Caylen talk movies. What we should do is do a special Hey Did You See This One? Hey Did You See This Match episode or month of wrestling movies.
What about that scene from Spider-Man?
There's the scene from Spider-Man, but there are wrestling movies. There's I just want to see what's going to happen here because this is a feat of strength. And she's very strong, but he's a physical specimen.
The veins in his neck, his eyeballs.
Are you allowed to bend them like that?
Yeah, of course.
I can see her vagina area.
Well, don't point. You don't have to be crude. You see.
Giving it everything she's got. Psycho Mike can't keep Taylorizing down.
Is he supposed to be like when they're doing that? Are they hurting their hands or are they hurting their back? Like their back?
His like hands, like he's bending
Like
his
wrists?
fingers back. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, we're trying to hulk up. Taylorizing having none of that though.
So you'll find this interesting. Superkickd has a yearly show called 420,
Nice.
and they try to do it on 420 if 420 lands on a Friday, but this time it didn't. And they called it 422.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
backfired here.
But that's why there's green ropes and the referee's
Oh, cool.
shoes are green.
Taylorizing now side headlock.
Is this like Canadian stuff or?
Yeah, this is the company I worked for.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Nice.
This is the company I did announcing for and like trained with.
Taylorizing
That's
into
awesome.
Psycho Mike once again.
Yep, I've been in this room many times doing wrestling related things.
Taylorizing, demanding. And it's Psycho Mike's turn.
I mean, that's how The Rock
Mike
became an
calling his
actor.
shot.
How The Rock became what?
An actor.
That's true.
Psycho Mike once again.
That's how I became a podcaster, even though my
Once again,
wrestling
nobody moves.
podcast ended a decade ago, roughly.
Taylorizing.
But it's all kind of tied together. Like around the time when I got into wrestling, I wanted to get into like working on movie sets,
Yeah.
He's out on his
but
feet.
I didn't like the way that you have to grind on movie sets. You have to
Right.
literally just go do things for free
Connecting. Sending
to
Psycho
be able to
Mike
make a little bit of money eventually, and it's just not at that point in my life. Like maybe if I was 18,
And after
but I
all
was
of that, Taylorizing
29.
deserves a moment of
so I was like, okay.
I
So
got bills.
while I was going to school for what I do now, which is IT, I took wrestling school because I had lots of extra free time, So during that time,
Psycho Mike on the
that's when I
outside.
started like
Taylorizing
making
now
podcasts
back in.
and doing wrestling announcing and all that kind of stuff. So
Tripping up Taylorizing.
now I've been doing IT for 8 years.
Do you have an announcer voice? Like, do you have like a certain voice that you do when you
Driving
announce?
that lower
Yeah,
back
I do.
right into the hardest
I do.
part of the ring.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. That sort of thing. I haven't done it in a long time. If I got called back to do this, I'm worried that I get out there and just be like
First time
the following
I've heard a
contest.
crowd go against Psycho Mike.
Ooh.
We have definitely seen a turn here.
Oh, I don't know. I got to check with my manager. So this was like a few months ago. This is like a few months ago.
Yeah. It's back in April. Last week I watched another match from this card on the show, which was really good.
Psycho Mike now.
I'm trying to give
The
shine
body
to
slam Taylorizing.
my friends from
Planting Taylorizing in the
Superkickd
center of the ring.
because
Was there
He's
ever
touching
any
her
doubt?
bum.
okay, you don't have to be crude again. When two man wrestlers wrestle each other, they touch each other's butts all the time. Just because she's a woman doesn't matter. This is called an intergender match. You have to keep pointing out that
Standing
she's a woman.
proudly over the standout Taylorizing. Taylorizing
Got those
back up.
crazy
Wait,
eyes.
Taylorizing has just body
She
slammed
just
Psycho
body
Mike.
slammed him with no problem.
She looks pretty strong. Her
Body
legs
slam
look super
through
strong.
the round Ontario.
She's jacked.
She's got nice hair.
Not since Hogan and Andre. Since
I wish I had
Uber and
nice hair.
Yokozuna have I
I
seen
mean, when
a
your
bigger
hair is
body
grown
slam.
out, it's pretty nice. Your hairline's good.
Once again, Taylorizing, this time
It's
making
slowly
it
leaving me.
official.
My
First one
knowledge
could
of
have been a
wrestling,
head toss.
like back in the day in elementary, we didn't have cable, so we had like
Planting Psycho Mike in the center of the ring.
what's it called, like Global or CTV or whatever. and there was whatever channel had wrestling on it. And I remember Shawn Michaels. He was my favorite. He did that little foot stomp thing when he was like revving up or whatever.
Yeah, tuning up the band is what it was known as. Because
Yeah.
his finishing move was called Sweet Chin Music.
Ah, okay, is that what it was? He does like the kick to the chin.
He did the super kick. And back then, the super kick was devastating. It was a finishing move. Nowadays, people just super kick each other all the time. Constantly.
Psycho Mike getting that low blow.
Oh! Hey, it doesn't bother her.
Exactly.
That doesn't
Nice.
work.
What a fool.
That just doesn't work here, Psycho Mike.
He's very pleased with himself. Oh,
Psycho
look
Mike
who's here.
oblivious here.
Here comes Steve.
What, we got a tag team?
Oh, Taylor Rising going low.
Oh, big Stone Cold Stunner.
Psycho Mike.
What's up, Steve? How you doing, buddy?
Stunner. Mike hooking the
I'm
leg.
alright. I'm
Steve's in the
still
house?
working, but I'm here.
Still working. Still got your background from last week's show.
Yeah, I don't
One and a three.
don't feel like switching it.
Inches away from
It's
victory.
great. It's wrestling themed, in my opinion.
Yeah, Skeksis versus Giffle Gaffle or whatever the fuck they're called.
Gelflings.
Yeah.
Skeksis. Skeksis Midnight Runners.
Taylor Rising.
Oh, something's gonna happen. I can feel it.
Do you remember this guy, Steve?
Psycho Mike now with Taylor Rising. Oh,
Oh, something happened.
center of the ring.
That was a small
Psycho Mike
package.
just kicking out. Taylor Rising.
Did she break out of it?
Hits the ropes.
No,
Oh,
she
what
did
a
it to him.
Hurricane Rana.
Oh,
Taylor Rising again. Big clothesline.
saw that one.
Oopsies.
Will we
She's
see
gonna.
the
He's a fucking.
She's got both arms
Give him a
up.
pedigree.
Taylor
Boom.
Rising. Pedigree. Psycho Mike.
Oh, Psycho Mike. Yes, I remember Psycho Mike.
2, 3. That's it.
Is he a nice guy in real life?
He's a weirdo in real life, but I like him.
I don't think I ever met him like personally, but I was definitely standing close enough that I could smell him.
Actually, no, I wouldn't say he's a
The
weirdo.
standout.
He's a weirdo
The
as like
badass
his wrestling
queen of the
persona
six.
is a weirdo.
Taylor Rising.
When he's-
victorious.
When he's in the
Not
arena, like
only
when he's hanging out,
over
he's
Wanda
just kind of
Del Rey,
like, just kind of hangs
Also,
out. He's very quiet,
Psycho
very
Mike.
quiet guy.
I like his name.
Psycho Mike. Psycho Michael. So there you go. Have the logo up. Nice logo for Superkickd. Give them a little bit of free advertising here. I actually asked the person who runs Superkickd. I was like, "Hey man, can I use your matches?" And he was like, "Hell yeah, brother. Just give us a little shout out." So this match, I've never seen this. If it sucks, I'm sorry. If it's crazy, that's what I'm hoping. But this is because of at Forbidden Door on Sunday, a wrestler debuted by the name of Claudio Castagnoli. And Claudio Castagnoli used to wrestle for a company called Chikara. And another wrestler that used to wrestle for a company called Chikara is Brodie Lee. And Brodie Lee, unfortunately, passed away last year. He was one of those wrestlers that everybody loved in real life, and it was very unfortunate. It wasn't because of COVID, but it was like a lung-related thing, weirdly. Officially, it isn't COVID, but people speculate that it may be. I don't think that it is. I think that he had underlying health issues, but that's neither here or there. Basically, I wanted to watch this match from 2008. It's a cage match, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, without further ado, here's Claudio Castagnoli versus Brodie Lee and Chikara cage match. September 7th,
Nice.
2008. This one's going to be a bit longer. And they also just start fighting.
And Mantis, we're off and running here.
No,
The
entrance
main
fee.
event. Claudio Castagnoli. I never thought.
I'm hoping it doesn't get too bloody because I don't know.
I would see a steel cage match
It's,
here.
it's not really that's not really their vibe.
Again, an issue of this magnitude.
But I could see since it's a cage match, it getting a little bit intense.
You know, I felt this
You may
Real
also,
blood or fake blood?
real blood. You may also notice that
You know, we gotta wait for these
Brodie
two men to
Lee's
get
the
in
guy
ring, and
with
the only
that
way
looks
you
like
can
me.
win is once you're inside that cage and that door is slammed shut. Is by pinfall or climbing up
And-
Go
the
on.
top of the cage
And
and getting to the arena
that's
floor. The door will
that
be
might be
That's
why-
something you may notice about this.
That's just something. Yeah, you may notice that he looks like me and dresses like me.
That's right. Once these two men are in the ring, anything goes. No disqualification.
Guy in the polo was like, I don't want any part of this business.
There's no submission as well. Oh, and wait a minute.
Oh! Big suicide tope right out
I
of
think
the
the guy in the
ring,
polo
through
is the
cage to
referee.
floor by Claudio.
This is back before they,
And Claudio
they're like, maybe we should just get a classic referee shirt.
knows that he needs to beat Brodie Lee tonight
Some
here
companies
in Philly
didn't do
inside
that.
the
Some
steel
companies
cage.
had the blue polo.
Claudio Castagnoli, a world traveler, one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Definitely the top dog here in Chikara. Mantis, you agree?
Slide in.
Oh, without a doubt.
Check
Without a doubt.
check
But there
it
has been
out.
one thing that Claudio's been unable to get out of his mind. He has not been able
Oh,
to
snap.
decisively
I'm just
beat Brodie
paranoid
Lee
that I'm
in singles
not recording my
competition here in
audio
Chikara.
now
He gets a
after
DQ
fucking
win here, or a win where the referee
the time
was
we
taken
did that
out.
whole trailer show and my shit wasn't recorded while we were watching
Yeah.
the trailers.
Big overhead belly to belly.
No, you're good. I can hear you on the Twitch.
Okay, cool.
Needs this win more than ever. He needs to get the specter of Brodie Lee off of over
Just
his
kicking the
head.
shit out of them, huh?
Yeah.
First debut here in Chikara. You know, he was a joke. He came out wearing tassels. You know, out to New Kids on the Block music.
I don't see any tassels.
He got beaten by Equinox.
And
I also might have got a little bit spicy the other night when I was on stream, by the way. Maybe take that one down.
Brodie Lee
Oh, really? What'd they say?
I started talking about abortion, which I really should not have done.
Okay, I'll review it. Which one was it? The one from last night?
Was it last night? Yes.
Okay.
And granted, he hasn't been
Sea
able
of
to get a
Thieves?
decisive win over Claudio, just
Sea
like
of
Claudio
Thieves.
hasn't been able to
You
do
said
so
that,
over him. But he has
well, we can
been
talk about
able
this after.
to hang
Wrestling
in
is the
there.
name of the game here.
Best that Chikara
Yes.
has to offer, and
Wrestling
Claudio
is the name
Castagnoli
of the
right now,
show
he's in
tonight.
firm control.
One time someone tried to, is it a suplex when you like lift them up over you kind of thing and then bring them down?
Again, this issue is
So
so
someone
big,
tried to
you know, it's
suplex me,
escalated
but I like,
over the last
when they
several months.
lifted me up,
I
I like
suplexed them.
swiveled and like spun over, like and spun around and like flipped over them.
Keep in mind that we have 3
And then
referees
what
for this
happened?
match.
Were you play wrestling, or was this in a real fight? Because if you were in a real fight and someone was able to get you up for a suplex, you're bad at fighting.
Yeah, we were play wrestling, but they were shocked and surprised and nicely amazed or whatever that I was able to do that.
That's a fairly common,
Hopefully contain the action, but
like reversal
trying to take all the
for a
precautions
suplex.
I
You
can.
just
Oh,
you just kind of jump on the other side.
He whips that man, and I mean, he hits the ropes at the same time.
Evade,
He's just
evasion.
all the way through
Yeah.
to that steel cage, and that steel cage is unforgivable.
I use
That is
evasion.
fun. That is no nonsense. That will cut you up. That will bruise you.
That will
injure
cut
a man.
you up. That will
That will
bruise
cut
you.
you the fuck up.
You can just say that that guy's you. You probably get away with it for a while.
Everything that they've done, I don't know if either one of these men have been in a cage match before.
Sorry, what was the
This could
question?
be
You're Jack,
for these
right?
two men as well.
What was the question?
Nice defensive maneuver right there.
I said you could just tell people that that's you. You probably get away with it.
Avoid
Yeah.
the inevitable, face first,
Especially if it was in 2008.
steel cage.
Just a double thrust right to the throat there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
People change their
You're gay.
opinions.
In there with a warning, but you know, no
In his
disqualification.
tank top.
That's what I looked like in 2008.
When they're inside of the confines of the cage. That's right. You see Bryce. He can't
I've
stop
seen the
him.
pictures.
I was a cook.
Choking on the ropes. He
You
really
probably
can't
knew
stop
me in
anything.
Well, you know, in
2008.
some matches, Chikara, some cage matches, we've
Me?
seen this
Yeah.
rule that you can
Probably worked at
win the match
Boston
by
Pizza.
exiting, the ring through the
Yeah.
door. Now that's absolute nonsense. Chikara Pro, here it's over the top only, or
I probably
pinfall.
just started working at Boston Pizza, but
Again, submission is just going to be used to wear your opponent down. Maybe
I
so they
definitely,
can get time out of
it's
the
definitely
cage.
like when I was at
Brodie
home.
Lee,
That's
not
definitely how
much
I
of a,
dressed.
submission wrestler, more the type of guy to kick you in the face.
You dress like a ninja.
Speaking of which, Claudio.
I had Jumpsuit Ninja as an alter ego, yes.
Aspects of this match, although you never know. Claudio Castagnoli.
Maybe Jumpsuit Ninja will come onto the show for a Halloween
one of the most
episode.
technically sound wrestlers in the world.
I was also thinking about putting my old
suplex off the second.
my old Jason Show episodes from YouTube
And again,
Yeah.
Brodie
on our
wrapping
channel
up the
just
arm
for
of Claudio, if you saw there,
people to
trying
be like,
hold
what the
him down,
fuck is this?
trying to keep his arms
Shit.
wrapped to prevent
Like a
him
little
from
time
taking out that
capsule,
front
a little
press.
blast from the past.
Exactly.
And
I
Brodie
put a
Lee,
Blossom
the big
Buddies
man,
on there.
Claudio, no slouch
It
himself.
has like 3 views.
Oh, both of these bulls just going at it here.
Sick headbutts by Brodie
I'm
Lee.
sure there's a niche market out there for it. You just gotta find them, or they gotta find
Trying
me.
to keep his distance from Brodie Lee, but Brodie Lee's a big guy with a big.
For all you viewers out there,
Claudio
remember
now
that show
fending
Blossom?
off the onslaught.
They're like, no.
Brodie Lee.
That's the
Claudio
problem.
trying to
Like,
get to his
when we
feet.
first started doing Blossom Buddies, I was like, man, people are gonna love this. They're gonna be like, I remember Blossom. I'd love to do a watch along with a couple of funny guys, and
now
then
just standing on the man right on his throat, and there's nothing that
just
refs
like
can do in this
we'd
case.
get
I mean,
maybe
Bizarre is officiating.
maximum 20 downloads per episode
Again, there is no
maximum,
enforcement. Again, we're
which
gonna
like
That's pretty good.
it's okay, right? Like you're not gonna like get any revenue from it, and that's not really what we were doing it
Not
for.
gonna be
But
disqualification.
Big close fist
Oh.
there, absolutely
I would have
illegal.
liked for more people to watch. Is he bleeding? Maybe the no, he's good.
And,
Maybe
Claudio's
the
been on the
quality's bad
defense here
enough
for the
that
last
a
several
little bit of
minutes.
blood's not
Brodie Lee
gonna
firmly
make
in
Twitch
control.
freak out.
Oh, that's why you're okay. I got you.
Yeah. My friends were
No blood allowed on
It's not very often
Twitch.
Claudio
that
Castagnoli
unless it's
is
in a
at
video
size
game, you can play the
disadvantage.
goriest
May not
shit.
have a very large size disadvantage.
Unless it's a different color. That's how they get away with it with
Claudio
cartoons.
Castagnoli
That's true.
definitely has
I wish
never
there was a
seen
black
opponent
and
of this
white
magnitude.
filter for
In a Chikara program.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
OBS.
European uppercut by Brodie Lee.
Oh, into the fence.
Slaps in the face.
Oh,
I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back.
There you go.
Get it.
That's how you do it, Brodie Lee.
Winding up with a big one.
I got this water bottle for free for buying. I think I got it was either 3 or 4 Powerades, and I got the bottle for free.
Stay on the canvas. Brodie Lee right back
Is it a
up.
Gatorade water
He may have
bottle
been
or a
out of
Powerade
it.
water
He got
bottle?
right back up to his feet.
Powerade.
Trying valiantly to keep himself from being.
If I got
blasted
any,
face
if I
first.
got
One for Claudio.
something for free from drinking bubbly, it would be probably more bubbly because I drink so much of it. That made no sense. My point is I drink a lot of carbonated water beverages.
Bubbly, if you're listening.
Claudio measuring Brodie Lee for
Mr. Bubbly, are you there?
John Bubbly.
Brodie Lee very slow to
You
his
had-
Slew nuts.
You had you had Robert, you had Michael Bublé to be your mascot,
Oh, and lets him go.
and you should get me,
And I
and you
believe
should
he
get
went
Kayla,
head
you should
first
get
into the
Steve.
cage.
Uh-oh.
Hooks the legs. One,
He
two,
swung him by the legs, and his head started bleeding.
Brodie Lee has been busted open here, man. I'm not sure if you mentioned
His
that
head
before.
started to bleeding.
It's a
I don't see
gusher.
any blood.
Wow. Well, it wasn't inevitable, Chikara. I mean, as I said before.
Oh, you gonna let him out? You gonna throw him out? Oh,
Man, oh man. I was supposed to have all this shit done on Sunday night.
They loaded some more. They unloaded some more work on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they're having to render all these things, right? And they just weren't able to get it done in time to give it all to me. I completed everything they gave me on the weekend, but they were like, we have lots more. And I was like, no!
Yeah, I thought
So
that-
does that mean like your week off gets extended? Like whatever days that you work will just be added on to days off after?
Yeah, I mean, the only days that I've, like, these technically would have been work days anyway, so it's whatever, but I did work all weekend, so.
yeah, I thought that you had like an ultimatum, not an ultimatum, but a deal where
The
you
whole
had
tomato.
a whole week off.
Well, that was the plan, but unfortunately, if I was to be like, sorry, you guys said I had the week off, they would be completely and utterly screwed in terms of getting all this stuff done.
And they might be like, oh, okay, well, sorry, you don't have a job now. Oh
Well,
my
no.
God.
I really doubt they would fire me, but it would just be kind of like a really difficult place to put them in.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
I don't
good.
want to do that.
I kind of operate the same way. I don't like to screw over my coworkers.
Yeah, I mean, all I would be doing would be giving a lot of work to less people, and they probably wouldn't be able to match the style that I'm doing perfectly, so it would be not great. But it is Arjun's birthday today, and I kind of wanted to go out for his birthday, but
So much punishment he
Oh, shit.
cannot capitalize
I guess
right
it's
now,
too
but
late
he
now.
needs to.
Well, I mean, right
well,
now,
they're all in Brampton right now, so.
There's still plenty of time to party. Do you have to work tomorrow, or?
I think they still have more stuff that they weren't able to get done, so I'll probably end up having to work all week.
Damn.
But I'm not sure yet. We'll find out tomorrow.
This has been a pretty good match so far. I know you guys don't really have a frame of reference for what's a good wrestling match, but
I think your doppelganger is winning.
well,
Not right now, but he was.
so there was a couple different rule sets for cage matches. Sometimes it's you have to escape, and that's what this is. Sometimes you can escape or pin them in the ring, pin them or submit them in the ring, and then sometimes there's no escaping because there's a lid on the cage. And it's called Hell in a Cell or War
Nice.
Games, and you can't escape.
You can't escape. You're trapped in a fucking cage. Oh, God. They should make a wrestler named Daddy Doppelganger, and every time he comes into the ring, he just is like riffing on the other wrestler he's fighting. So he like dresses like them and will like wear their colors and stuff.
It's funny you should say that.
Match with Grimes.
Is that a real thing that exists already?
Not right now, but there's been so when wrestlers are having an exceptionally long feud, they'll lampoon each other. A thing that they used to do in the early 2000s and late 90s would bring out little people dressed like the person they're wrestling, and do little people jokes with them.
Okay. Not exactly what I had in
No.
mind, but okay.
But there was a character in the early 2000s named Charlie Haas who would come out as different wrestlers every week. And the Young Bucks are wrestlers who will dress like their opponents to do mind games at them. It's a trope in wrestling. There's no wrestler really that's ever been like, I'm going to come out dressed like exactly my opponent every week. But that would be cool. I'm into that.
What is up with Goldust? What was his deal?
Goldust was androgynous. And that's it. He was kind of at first he was a heel because he was gay, because it was the 90s and rednecks.
Yeah.
And then he became a beloved character, and then he became a weirdo in the Attitude Era. And then, oh my God. Is that it?
This could be a Chikara 1.
Oh, something's happening.
Near two counts. So this you can escape or get pinned in the ring. And then he got electrocuted. Goldust got electrocuted in the early 2000s and had a stuttering gimmick and tag teamed with Booker T. And
nice.
It was great. They were called Booker.
So he didn't actually get electrocuted. He just pretended to get electrocuted.
Yeah. But the thing about it is he's from that old school live the gimmick outside of the ring wrestling kind of person, and he went on Howard Stern fully in character, and Howard Stern was just like, we know wrestling's not real. And he was still doing the stuttering completely in character. It's great. You should seek that out. It's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Just look up Goldust Howard Stern.
Could be going for that big power bomb again.
Here we go again.
Right against
Just rocked him into another dimension.
He's gonna evade. Evade him.
I thought that was certain.
Big 2 count.
Claudio Castagnoli.
Is that referee Bryce Remsburg?
Certain curtains.
And then drove him into the mat. I thought that was all but Claudio.
His vertebrae have to be a mess right now, Chikara.
Watched Doctor Strange again last night with Danny. That movie is good.
I like it.
it.
There's a bunch of stuff I missed the first time.
Claudio kicks out.
Series of near pinfalls here.
And Brodie Lee cannot
For one of the characters I didn't really care too much about, they definitely make this movie like they're well made for sure.
I was just so happy that Sam Raimi made a movie again, and it feels exactly like Sam Raimi.
Yeah. I don't know who this guy is.
He's the boy man. It's Man Boy.
Boy man versus Man Boy.
Boy man, Man Boy.
I don't know who
It's
that
the
is
boys to
either.
men.
It's boys to men boys.
Larry Sweeney's been lobbying for Claudio to help him take
Uh-oh.
the Fabulous 2. And again, he's been saying he's got Claudio's back, and he definitely had Claudio's back right here, and Brodie Lee doesn't know what to make of it.
But Brodie Lee needs to stand out of that ring right now. What's he doing? He's wasting valuable time. And right now he's almost out. Claudio needs to get a foot, get an angle. And I think it's too
Cocky
late.
exit.
Oh, wait a minute. Claudio shaking the cage. Brodie's got to be careful. He would have won, but I think he fell. He probably would have been severely injured.
Yeah.
No doubt about
You
that.
fall 10
But
feet
again,
to
both
concrete
men
floor,
battled
you're gonna
furiously
die.
on that top rope.
He'll be very badly injured for sure.
Brodie Lee falls, and you see Larry Sweeney there standing at the bottom of the ramp.
Uh-oh.
Let Claudio know, I got your back, brother.
Oh, waterfall.
back, bro.
The Palomino always knows what he's doing, so I trust the man, but it looks like
I don't know how I would
Claudio
react to
almost
trying
out
to
of the ring. Brodie Lee.
climb under the cage like that.
Claudio thinking he's got this match won.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
he's just gonna jump off the cage instead.
Oh my God, man, just Claudio's on top of the cage.
Wow.
Oh, and he just nailed him with that Euro.
Wrestling is so weird.
Wrestling is weird.
It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, there. He's going for the Ricola bomb. This could be it. He
Cola
hits it.
bomb.
Do
I
you
don't
remember
think
when
I'm
we?
seeing what you're seeing right now. Oh, here he is. Now he's climbing.
There we go. So that was good, because that was the guy that debuted this week. Now let's see if I can get us back to the Zoom meeting without freezing the Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Chicka chicka kaboom.
Oh yeah, I gotta do this. And here we are. We're back, baby. So, Steve came in the nick of time to see, you know, most of the first match and the second match.
Yeah, sorry, I lost track of time.
That's okay. Caylen got to see both matches. I just wanted to make you guys watch wrestling, and I did.
Mission accomplished.
So, do you guys want to watch? Since we didn't do a trailer show last night, do you want me to do the trailer for Labyrinth right quick?
Sure.
So this week on, hey, did you see this one? We're rounding out June Henson. It's gonna still be June, right? It's not, or is it?
Tomorrow? Tomorrow's June.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait. You're talking about this episode?
June Henson. I can't remember if it's gonna be June Henson or not, but
Yeah, tomorrow's June.
it's still June.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
until Friday.
Cool. So we're gonna watch Labyrinth. Share sound. We're gonna watch the trailer for Labyrinth because we're gonna watch Labyrinth. We're gonna watch the trailer for Labyrinth. Trailer.
Hit it.
Labyrinth trailer. Go. This is the most interesting thing I've ever done on the podcast. Making you guys watch me click around.
Ooh, riveting.
TriStar Pictures announces the collaboration of three extraordinary talents. Jim Henson,
Ooh.
creator of The Muppets and Dark Crystal.
Where you go with a head like that?
Uh-oh.
George Lucas, creator of the Star Wars saga.
This feels like a main event of our June Henson.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this movie, so
And one of the most innovative
I think it's a
forces
little
in
bit
modern
more
entertainment,
digestible
David
than
Bowie.
the Dark Crystal because it's got classic Muppet antics, and it's got David Bowie.
A little more
Together,
story.
they will take you into a
more
dazzling
character
world
development.
of fantasy and
Yeah,
adventure.
we got Goblin King played by David Bowie.
A world where anything seems possible and nothing is what it seems.
Hey, Zeppelin.
For you.
I'm a freaky goblin man. The goblin
Sure, but they just go into an extra weekly.
The world of Labyrinth.
If you can solve my labyrinth in 13 hours, I won't kill your brother.
Alright.
Nice. I'm psyched.
Are you guys ready to watch the movie next week? Uh-oh. Things are playing.
What's happening?
Stop it.
Stop it.
I haven't watched The Labyrinth in a long time. I should probably figure out if I can buy it on my Xbox.
The Labyrinth.
I do know that I like The Labyrinth more than Dark Crystal, but that's because I've watched it a couple times as a kid, so I've got that at least a little bit of nostalgic value connected.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I'm going to transition back to this. And let's take her home. So, I'd like to thank everybody for watching tonight. It means a lot, the people that came through. I like to do this show on Tuesday nights. It's fun for me, and it's fun to talk about wrestling. Before you guys came onto the stream, I ran down the pay-per-view card, and I ended up talking about it for 25 minutes. So I put on
the pay-per-view this weekend.
No, it just happened on Sunday, so I gave the results.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I put on DCMA free music, so it wouldn't be boring for the viewer. I think it was probably still boring. Nobody gives a shit about what some next dude thinks about wrestling. So, but I do thank everybody that came through. We're very excited to watch Labyrinth on Wednesday night. I'd like to thank my lovely guests for coming on by tonight. And I have to ask the question that's been on everybody's mind, and that is, hey, did you see this match?
Did you see
this match?
Hey, did you see this match? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's what the match is called. I'm gonna do the thing where we, talk over the little exit, play a little bit of
Technical support.
DCMA free music at the end here. What do you guys think you'll do with the rest of your night? Think you'll party?
I am going to be working until I finish these fucking floors that I'm drawing.
Caylen, you want to play Fall
Floors?
Guys?
I am probably gonna play some Fall Guys.
Do you want to?
I won a tournament. I won my first tournament earlier today.
Do you want to? Even though it's not really a game we play together, do you want to invite me to a party on PlayStation, and we will play some Fall Guys?
Yeah.
Hey, did you follow this guy?